Yo, what's up, Brotherhood channel? Happy Wednesday. It's getting pretty late in the day. Sorry about this video being posted so late. It's been a weird day. So, this week's topic was hate within the trans community. Sorry. Ooh, good, I got the sneeze. Wow, it's going well. This week's topic was hate within the trans community. And, let me just make sure that's what the topic was. So, dealing with hate and ignorance from within the trans community. Now I feel like I have to sneeze. Alright, well, I apologize. Get your life together, Kai. Hate and ignorance within the community. To be quite honest, and this is kind of like, I'm afraid this video is not going to be of any help. I try to avoid it altogether. I try to inform when I can and when people are willing to open their minds and listen. But for the most part, my whole way of going about things is usually to just kind of try to stay away from the hate and the ignorance, because that's just negative vibes. And with my mental health and my emotional sensitivity and stuff like that, I need to stay away from the negative stuff as much as possible, just for my own well-being and my own mental health. That being said, sometimes you just can't stay away from it. You can't avoid it for one reason or another. And in that case, I think it goes just like with anything else. So for me, I don't go out seeking the people who are ignorant or hateful. And within the trans community, there's so much, like, I don't even want to get into it, but there can be so much about, like, what's trans, what's not trans, do you need dysphoria, do you not need dysphoria? And regardless of my own personal thoughts and feelings on those subjects, which I do have, I do on certain subjects lean one way or the other. My general way of going about things is let people live their lives the way, it gets complicated because there is a point in time where things are hurting the community, and I always think that's a kind of sticky line. It's kind of like a words are failing me, but it's just like a sticky subject kind of thing, um, thin line between what is like, let people live their lives, let them do their thing, and then what might actually be harming the transgender community, the image of what transgender is and what transgender means, and like people even within the transgender community. And for the most part, I don't go out seeking that stuff. I try to avoid it, stay away from it. And again, that's just kind of my own mental health thing. It doesn't necessarily make things better, it doesn't educate anyone, which is unfortunate because I do love educating people. That's why I make my YouTube videos, even though they're not necessarily all educational, just by sharing my perspective. I hope that I educate some people on what it really means to be like transgender, and like that we're just kind of like everyone else. So I think even within our own community, if I did find myself in a situation where I was noticing hate and ignorance, and it was one of those situations where I couldn't avoid it, or something, personally I couldn't remove myself from the situation, I think my best tool that I could bring out would be just to try to educate. So basically, kind of share my story, share my perspective, and there's going to be people who are going to be open to that, and there's going to be people who are not. And I've come to learn, whether they're within the community or not, the people who are not open to that stuff, maybe someday, hopefully, they'll come around. There's definitely things that I've grown and had personal growth with, so I don't want to say just give up forever on those people. But it's also an internal thing. Other people have to be open to ideas for growth, for their own growth, and until they are like actually open to that, anyone who tries to like force it upon them is just gonna be like, it's just gonna not, it's not gonna work. It's probably gonna be really hostile, and just a lot of more arguing and stuff than someone who's ready and open to learning and new ideas and different kinds of lives that they may not have already been aware of or exposed to. So I know I'm just kind of like talking and rambling, and but I don't know. This is kind of a hard topic for me, just because it's sometimes I really do try to like just avoid the hate. I don't like hate and drama and all that stuff. It can really bring me down fast. So I want to just say, remove yourself from the situation, but I know, one, that's not always possible, and two, that doesn't always that doesn't do much to always make the situation better. And I want to go back and say, it's not it's not really your responsibility to worry about the larger community before yourself. Like, if removing yourself is the best thing for your mental health and that's the best you can do, then I would never say go stand up to someone who's being hateful or ignorant just because you need to make sure they don't do this to someone else in the community. That's something that would be great, and that certain people can do and are able to do, and maybe someday and in certain situations you will be able to do that, and you'll find yourself in a place where you can do that, but you don't have to do that. Like, it's perfectly acceptable to take care of yourself first and be like, no, I need to just remove myself from the situation because that's going to be what's best for me and my mental health. I just want to make that clear too. I hope I'm making sense and not talking around in circles. So I'm probably not going to edit this, but I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts out there on this topic, and hopefully it's making a little sense. Uh, and I also didn't want to like make this a video where I'm talking and taking sides within the community, because I know there are certain stances in the community. There's groups of people in the community who feel one way or another, and sometimes these thoughts clash. And like I said before, sometimes I am on one side or the other, but regardless of that, I think that the main thing is that we are all first and foremost taking care of ourselves, because without that you're not going to be able to do anything for the greater community. If you're not in a good place, it's just, yeah, it's bad. It's pretty much bad for everyone. It's going to be more hurtful to you, and probably more hurtful to others, that you're taking on something that maybe you're not mentally ready for. I hope I'm not like saying this in the wrong way. Like, I'm not mentally ready for dealing with a whole bunch of hate from within the community. Like, maybe here and there, but for the most part, and in the past, I have, and I will, and I do remove myself from the situation, and I think that's a perfectly acceptable, okay thing. I know I didn't talk specifically about trans hate or anything, but I think that's with all hate and ignorance, and it goes within the community. There's been community, like LGBT community groups I've been in that I've removed myself from because there was hate and ignorance within the community going on. And I just want to say, I think it's perfectly acceptable to just remove yourself from a situation that's negative and not beneficial to your growth and your mental health and well-being. That's the bottom line. I hope that's what I got across. This video is like 10 minutes for no reason, but really today's been a day. It's been rough. About to cry here. Whoa. No, but it's just, um, I had a bit of an argument with a friend, and that always sucks, especially for someone who has kind of some emotional sensitivity problems and like some relationship problems, like interpersonal relationship attachment anxiety problems, just a whole bunch. So it kind of got my brain a little frazzled these past last night and today, and so you got this mess of a video. But anyways, it's okay to remove yourself from situations if need be. I think that's the bottom line, and what I'm going to make this video be about. I know it's not always possible, again, so please don't think I'm saying that. But when possible, and if possible, if that's what you need, that is okay. Yes. All right, guys. I'm going to go now for real. Thank you all so much for sticking with me, bearing with me, and my emotional mess of a being that I am. Uh, I love you all so, so much. I will talk to you soon. As always, stay strong, stay safe, stay you. I love you all. Peace.